Welcome to Macropiece Theater. My name is Emil Kalinowski. I'm your narrator. Today we'll be asking one of the leading figures of philosophy what his thoughts are on money. Jean-Paul Sartre, in his perhaps most well-known work, Being in Nothingness, published in in 1943. The internet was only just invented a few years before that, I think. It's always existed, hasn't it? Anyhow, being in nothingness. Money. What does money do? We're going to ask the philosopher, and he's going to talk to us about subjects, objects, possessing, and whether you, the person, bring into being and breathe life into objects, and how money helps or doesn't help us with that connection. Possess means to have for myself. That is, to be the unique end of the existence of the object. If possession is entirely and concretely given, the possessor is the raison d'etre of the possessed object. I possess this pen. That means this pen exists for me, has been made for me. Moreover, originally it is I who make for myself the object which I want to possess. My bow and arrows. That means the objects which I have made for myself. Division of labor can dim this original relation, but cannot make it disappear. Luxury is a degradation of it. In the primitive form of luxury, I possess an object which I have had made for myself by people belonging to me, slaves, servants born in the house. Luxury, therefore, is the form of ownership closest to primitive ownership. It is this which, next to ownership itself, throws the most light on the relation of creation, which originally constitutes appropriation. This relation in a society where the division of labor is pushed to the limit is hidden, but not suppressed. The object which I possess is one which I have bought. Money represents my strength. It is less a possession in itself than an instrument for possessing. That is why, except in the most unusual cases of avarice, money is effaced before its possibility for purchase. It is evanescent. It is made to unveil the object, the concrete thing. Money has only a transitive being. But to me, it appears as a creative force. To buy an object is a symbolic act which amounts to creating the object. That is why money is synonymous with power, not only because it is in fact capable of procuring for us what we desire, but especially because it represents the effectiveness of my desire as such. Precisely because it is transcended toward the thing, surpassed and simply implied, it represents my magical bond with the object. Money suppresses the technical connection of subject and object and renders the desire immediately operative, like the magic wishes of fairy tales. Stop before a showcase with money in your pocket, the objects displayed are already more than half yours. Thus, money establishes a bond of appropriation between the for itself and the total collection of objects in the world. By means of money, desire as such is already informer and creator. Thus, through a continuous degradation, the bond of creation is maintained between subject and object. To have is first to create. And the bond of ownership which is established then is a bond of continuous creation. The object possessed is inserted by me into the total form of my environment. Its existence is determined by my situation and by its integration in that same situation. My lamp is not only that electric bulb, that shade, that wrought iron stand. It is a certain power of lighting this desk, these books, this table. It is a certain luminous nuance of my work at night in connection with my habits of reading or writing late. It is animated, colored, defined by the use which I make of it. It is the use and exists only through it. If isolated from my desk, from my work, and placed in a lot of objects on the floor of a sales room, my lamp is radically extinguished. It is no longer my lamp. Instead, merely a member of a class of lamps. It has returned to its original matter. Thus, I am responsible for the existence of my possession in the human order. Through ownership, I raise them up to a certain type of functional being, and my simple life appears to me as creative exactly because, by its continuity, it perpetuates the quality of being possessed in each of the objects in my possession. I draw the collection of my surroundings into being along with myself. If they are taken from me, they die as my arm would die if it were severed from me. Thus, to the extent that I appear to myself as creating objects by the sole relation of appropriation, these objects are myself. The pen and the pipe, the clothing, the desk, the house are myself. The totality of my possessions reflects the totality of my being. I am what I have. It is myself which I touch in this cup, in this trinket. This mountain which I climb is myself to the extent that I conquer it. And when I am at its summit, which I have achieved at the cost of this same effort, when I attain this magnificent view of the valley and the surrounding peaks, then I am the view. The panorama is myself dilated to the horizon, for it exists only through me, only for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you thought of that. I didn't particularly enjoy it. It's possible, very likely, that it's simply because I'm not intelligent enough to understand what Jean-Paul Sartre is saying here. Fair enough. Existentialism, I don't get it. I understand he is not too enthused with capitalism and that it forces us to be focused on money and that we don't exist and pursue what we could become, like in Marxism, which would allow once capitalism has reached its pinnacle and money has been reapportioned and allocated across the economy equally, we'll have more time to pursue meaningful things, poetry, reading, painting, whatever it happens to be. Fair enough, yes. So money is something terrible. It holds us back, from what I understand, of Sartre's philosophy. Fair enough. And I thought maybe that would come through here in this reading, but that's okay. That's why it's reading around and it's Macropiece theater, and we will sample very many different pieces on the nature of money, the philosophy of money. And some of them will make sense to me, some of them will make sense to you. You can read more of Jean-Paul Sartre's thoughts, of course, and Being and Nothingness, as well as countless other essays and books. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.